So with regards to every question, you have to put in your 200% concentration, I would say, to every word. And because even a the or an and or is so important in that sentence that it can change the answer completely. So as I said, like every day, before my work starts, I used to wake up early in the morning, and I put a solid 4 hours of effort into studies. Obviously, you I used to fall asleep. All this does happen, but then at least you are putting in your dedication, you're putting your hard work into it. So I think that helped me in the long way. After work with kids, waking up in the morning or late nights. So that definitely, like whenever I felt down and I was like very skeptical about taking this exam, then immediately like I used to, okay, let me watch some videos. So that was my kind of relaxation, or a source from where I used to derive the inspiration. So that's how I kept myself going. And
Earlier, I would be, just sharing I will share the glimpse of your notes, so that again it will motivate people to follow the same path, the same approach which you have followed, right? So thank you so much. Hello everyone, welcome to CISA This Much. This is Aditya, and today we have with us Anju, who has recently qualified her CISA. So Anju, first of all, heartiest congratulations for qualifying the exam in the first attempt, and also clearing this exam, at last moment. Again, a good thing to achieve. So how does it feel, uh, qualifying in the first attempt and
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much, sir, for having me here, and thanks for all the great content and support that you had given me throughout my journey for the exam. Yeah, so about myself, so I'm Anju. I work for an IT firm here in the US. I have around 17 years of experience in the IT industry. Um, my journey for CISA, it has been like, I would say, kind of partially self-motivated or self-inspired, as well as a push from my organization. So it was a mix of both. I always wanted to do some certification, and in the past, I have good experience with consulting, and I've done also internal audits for my organization. So, and then I've also been into the core IT. So currently, I'm into cybersecurity related projects. So I'm into that space right now. So having seen all this and my passion towards auditing and things like that, so I thought, okay, anyways, I'm going to do a certification. So I wanted to pick up something which would add good value, and also it's I just wanted to stand out of the box where it would show up, okay, this person is a good fit. So that kind of a certification is what I wanted to do, because anyways you decide to study, so then why not do the best. So that's the reason I chose CISA for this particular certification that I thought I'll take up.
All right. Thanks for the detailed introduction and about. So my next question to you is, how much time did it take for you, right from the start, and how much time will you recommend to the people, who are currently planning to give the exam, and I since even you are a working professional, so a lot of people, they have their hectic schedule and difficulty to manage both the things, your studies as well as the work. How you used to manage, and how much time it took for you?
Okay, so with regards to duration, for me, it took around solid, I would say, 4.5 months. And this duration, I'm saying, because I had work, and then, when I say work, it was full 8 hours, full-fledged work, plus, the stuff I chose at home and all that. And with all that, I took around 4.5 months. So I started in the month of March, to be precise. I would say the 1st of March. That's when I think I got your content. So I started in the first week of March. So I basically planned it this way. I knew like the portion is vast. So like I planned it like, and after seeing your videos, like after seeing the number of videos that were there in your content, then I thought, okay, like it is going to take me at least 1 month, solid 4 weeks to go through the videos for the first time. So I started off with that, but it actually took me 5 weeks to get completed with the videos for the first time. So there I lagged a bit, and then I thought, okay, so another good thing which I did was like, as I went through your videos the first time, I made notes for myself, like the way I usually do it. I took small notes so that it would be easier for me in future, for revisions. So that part I did, and after that I planned for 1 month of 1 month of study time for the QAE, the ISACA QAE, as well as the mocks and the questions that QAEs that you had, mocks and the quizzes that you had. So that again took me around 5 weeks. So I used to plan it this way. So the initial first, second, and third domain, I could finish it kind of 3 days, 4 days each. So that way I could finish. But then when it came to the mocks and the quizzes, the domain wise quizzes and all, then it took time. But one thing what I did was, like, the good thing I did was I did not go in like domain and then QA. That's not how I did it. I first went through the whole content, and then I started with the QAE part. So there again it took around 1.5 months for me, and then the remaining time I wanted to do at least 3 rounds of revision. So that's how I planned it, and I had my set timeline of finishing this by the end of May. um, but due to again some constraints, like it got pushed by 2 weeks, but that was okay. It was just 2 weeks, because, and you always have this time crunch, right? I definitely wanted to give the exam before the new syllabus comes in, so I didn't want to, like, further stretch it anymore, and I wanted to give it the buffer, like, just in case scenario. So that's how I planned it, and I would say, like, I started it at the right time, giving it solid 4.5 months. So it took me around 4.5 months to, for the complete preparation and giving the exam.
Correct. So you have mentioned a lot of points. So the first thing which you mentioned is that you have taken down the notes while watching the lecture. So did you find, like, when you take down the notes, it helps you, for the retention, as well as it makes your revision part very easy? Because I know a lot of people, what they do is that when they're watching the lectures, they watch at a fast speed, and then uh like, since you also mentioned that it took some additional time also for you. So what happens is that by the time I'm finishing one domain and I'm getting into the second domain, I'm watching the second domain's lecture, I start forgetting what I've learned in the domain number one. But for you, since you were taking down your own notes, so I just want, like, if you can uh, let our viewers understand, how you used to, like, do you used to write down everything, or like, was it something like you used to just take down the important areas or important points, in your book, and how you used to revise, like, do you used to like, have you revised the lectures, or have you used your own note? Because as far as I understand, and I also believe that if someone takes down their notes, okay, first of all, they are, as I always say in my lectures also, there's active listening versus passive listening. So when I am writing down things, it could be anything. I mean, it's not that I need to take down everything. Even if I write down few points, my mind is active, that I'm not going into a sleep mode. Okay, so I'm actually understanding the real content, and at the same point of time, I believe that that also helps you for a good retention, and also the revision becomes very easy. So yeah, so I just want to know about your this thing, perspective on this. Yeah.
So, in your content itself, in your material itself, you do have the LDR notes, and but somehow I felt that was also too huge for me to, for the last minute revision part. But the content was really awesome, that I would say. But just that I did not have the time to go through it. But what I did was, not complete notes, but the key pointers from every important topic. That's what I noted. And you also used to give us, like, some important MCQ questions at the end of every domains, right? So those kind of things I noted down. and every key pointers that where you felt okay, this is something which I would I feel confusing. So things like that is what I started noting down. And then after I did this, definitely I would say, like, uh, after I finished the first domain, moved on to the second domain lectures. After the second domain was done, I was like completely blank. Okay, what did I learn in my first domain? So that's how it is. So there were multiple times, like, when I was like, okay, should I give up on this? So I had gone to that extent. So but definitely one thing that helps is this revision. So that fear or that doubts would come in, at least for some people, at least I would say. But the only way to get out of it is to revise. So as I did, like, I took my own notes, and then I used to, before taking up the QAs, I used to read this short notes, so that okay, I brush through the content of each of those domains, and then I go through the QAs. So that way, okay, I know what is the content in this particular domain, what are the key areas there, then I move on to the QAs. So that way it helped me. And with regards to the counts of revisions, like, for the lectures itself, I did it on a, when it comes to the revision part, I did it in a fast pace, around twice, but not for all the domains. The first three domains I did it at a fast pace, and rest all kind of went through my notes, the notes which I had taken. And also, the bits and the notes which I took was also mostly what, like, you had mentioned, like what is there in your LDR, but not completely from the LDR, but bits and pieces which I think which I would require. So those kind of things I went through as part of my revision.
Correct. So you have also mentioned that, since the syllabus is too vast, and there was a time when, even you felt like, let me just, quit the entire process, like how, like so many lectures to watch. Okay. And also, you also mentioned that, you did not gone through the official QA just after finishing one domain. Okay, you
Mm.
finished the entire all the five domains, and then you have gone for the solving the question answers. In fact, I also recommend the same thing, for the simple fact that, the official QA, sometimes. Like, see, now you have a lot of years of experience, so you might not feel that difficult. But for a person who is a fresher, if I am reading, if I have learned domain number one, okay, I might not know few terms from domain number four or domain number five. And in the official QE, when they frame questions, even though the question will be of domain number one, but at times they do mention terms which we might have discussion in other domains. So they get stuck, like, they feel, okay, no, I'm not able to solve this question. Okay, I'm not able to, I'm getting stuck over here. So did you find that approach, of finishing everything, all the five domains, and then revising each domain, and then going with the QA, then revising other domain, then going with the QA, that has helped in your case? Okay. And also, what was the biggest challenge? So since you mentioned that, there was a time, like, a lot of things to revise. I mean, to be very honest, a lot of people go through the same phase as what you have gone through. And uh, like, it is all dependent on the self belief, and also the fact that, I know the journey is not that easy. There are so many things. The CISA syllabus is also very vast, to be very honest, because as an auditor, we are supposed to know everything. Like, it's not that, as an auditor I might not have knowledge about this aspect. As an auditor, at least the basic understanding should be there. Syllabus is too vast, a lot of things to be done. So how you used to, how you have dealt with that?
Okay, so first thing was, with regards to your first question, like, I first went through, as I said earlier, like, I went through all the videos, and then yes, a part which I missed in between, I went through the notes that I had, because first time what I did was, without going through my notes after finishing the domain, I just directly attempted the ISACA QAE, and then I was like stuck. Okay, no, this is not going to work out. I need a revision again. So for the revision again, I didn't have the bandwidth to go through the entire content. So what I did was, that's when this notes came in handy for me. So I just brushed through the notes which I put in for each of those domains, and then I started off with the QAs, which helped me a bit. But that also, I would say, not completely. I improvised with every revision, because as I discussed earlier as well, Definitely, this is one of the exams like where you need to put, have a put in continuous effort. It's not like, okay, I studied today and then I like, okay, I give my exam without any revisions or without any continuity, like, after a week. It doesn't work that way. You need to put in continuous efforts because the subject itself is like that and you tend to forget. And this is again an exam where like you have, the choices are so close to each other. Uh, you need to have that thought process continuously going on in your mind. Only then you'll be able to see, okay, think through in that way and decide on what's going to be the right option. So that was with regards to the revisions. And the next part was like, whenever as I said, like there were multiple times I thought, okay, because it was very stressful. Like, imagine like putting in 4 hours of effort continuously. And when we say, to me, it was like very, very important, this exam. And I definitely wanted to do, clear it in the first attempt. So what kept me going was I used to watch, these success story videos that you post. So whenever I see that, I used to get a lot of inspiration because I've seen many people like telling, they put in so much of effort, like, after work with kids, waking up in the morning or like late nights. So that definitely, like, whenever I felt down and I was like very skeptical about taking this exam, then immediately like I used to, okay, let me watch some videos. So that was my kind of relaxation, or a source from where I used to derive the inspiration. So that's how I kept myself going. And yes, obviously you need the support from family, and other external factors are also very important for you to go through this.
All right. So, since we are, I mean, in this interview, so, in like whenever I take interview of anyone, I try to, derive, something unique from each and every interview. As since you mentioned that, you used to get inspired by, a lot of watching a lot of interviews, I have asked this question also in the past. I don't know that, like, do you used to study in the morning? What used to be a schedule? What, used to be a schedule, like 1 or 2 weeks before writing the exam, So I would like to ask the same question to you also, because, like when I give my advices, I also say that, at least 1 week before the exam, you need to take leave from your office, and you need to devote the entire day for this. Like, see, it might sound very easy, like, because what happens is that people think that, okay, this certification anyone can finish in a span of 6 months, but it's not like that. When you say 6 months, the efforts which it takes, it is, you can't even imagine, since like the way she has mentioned, she used to do the revision part and everything, right? So I want to understand, like, what was your, like, did you also apply for the leave from your office, like, 1 or 2 weeks before writing the exam? What was your schedule, previously during the early months?
Yeah,
And also the fact that, I mean, I'm asking question because, these are all the common areas which people do ask us, that, they have enrolled with our course. It's the first month. Okay, I'm not, like, I'm trying to watch the lectures, but, somehow, I'm not, able to get the time, I'm not able to get the momentum. And, I don't know, it's been 1 month I enrolled and I could not study much. I want to do a lot, like I want to finish this certification as early as possible, but at the same point of time, it cost you. It's not that, getting a certification is very easy. For getting any certification, you have to do a lot of investment is required. Yeah, so I want to know your, and also, I mean, maybe for our users, just a glimpse of the notes. I mean, not right now, maybe, after the call you can share that with me. I'll just put that, in our screen, like, just a glimpse of the notes which you used to make, so that it also motivates people, who are currently pursuing this course, yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so with regards to the preparation part of it. So as I said, duration was around 4.5 months. Yeah, 4.5 months. And my time slot, I'm not a person who can sit up at night. So morning was the early hours was the only option for me. So I used to wake up early in the morning, make sure that I have around at least 3.5 to 4 hours before I start my work. So it would be around 4:30. But it was consistent. Like, so I would say the three key factors is, first, you should be determined for this exam. You should be totally determined that, okay, I need to do this exam at any cost, and set yourself a timeline. That determination should be there. And once you determine to do that, you need to stay focused. When I say focused, there will be a lot of distractions or a lot of things coming up in your way, be it in your personal life or your career. But even with all that, you should be like firm, and you should be focused towards, okay, this is my path, I need to get this done. So that focus should always be there. So when you have this determination and focus, obviously you will be able to put in continuous effort. So there comes in the consistency factor. So these three were the things that I followed. I was determined, I wanted to do it, I stayed focused, and I like put in continuous efforts. So as I said, like every day, before my work starts, I used to wake up early in the morning, and I put a solid 4 hours of effort into studies. Obviously, like you I used to fall asleep. All this does happen, but then at least you are putting in your dedication, you're putting your hard work into it. So I think that helped me in the long way. And apart from that, with regards to like the last minute preparation, I did not have the liberty of taking a weeks off or something from work. I planned it that way, that I took up the exam on a Monday, so I had the weekend, but I just took the Friday off, so I get continuous 3 days of full focus preparation. And during this duration, like I would say, uh, totally into nothing else. So weekends, everything was like, just only for, the most important things I would step out. Otherwise, like I would completely sit, in my reading nook and like completely, be studying. So that's how it was for the last, for, those 4.5 months. And obviously it would be at least for me, it was there till the last minute, where you go into the exam hall, you will always have this fear, and you will always be doubtful, okay, am I good to give the exam now? Because this is not an exam where you like just study, and the questions would be exactly asked from it, you just go answer. It is not like that. It is basically a lot of content, your digestion into it, and how you deliver it, apply your thought, and how you choose a right option. So it's all about it. So till the last minute, even I was like very doubtful, okay, am I good to give it now? But you just have to decide and go and give it. And another thing also which helped me was, as I said, whenever like I was feeling down, I used to watch the success stories videos. Apart from that, I also was in touch with some of your own students, like who had done given the CISA exam and cleared it. So that also helped me, because they also kind of gave me key inputs that also helped me a lot. So I think these are some of the inputs like any CISA aspirants can do. You can make your own network. Not each one might give you some pointer which would it should personally be of some use to you. So that kind of strategy is again something which I applied. And as I said, like consistent effort. So these are the things which helped me.
Correct. And I would also like to, appreciate her because, after she cleared the exam, she has helped a lot of people. She has motivated a lot of people, I have asked her, like, you have cleared the exam. There are a lot of people who are planning to give the exam in the month of July. They need some additional push. They need some additional, motivation. Can I share your number? So I have, so she has helped multiple such, people. So thank you for that.
Most
And,
welcome.
also one of the I believe that one of the reasons why this exam becomes very difficult. I also have recorded a lot of question in the form of MCQ blockbuster series, and I understand that when I was teaching that particular concept, so learning is one thing, but when you're solving a question, that time you're thinking, and the way you need to look into that, the way you should be having the right ISACA mindset, that is completely different. So so even after experience, so since you're also you also have a lot of years of experience, and I have seen this, there are people who say that, okay, I'm into this IT field since past 1 decade, 2 decades, and even after that, when I know everything, when I'm going through the question answers, okay, without going through the right ISACA mindset, without understanding that when I'm just trying to solve the question, I know the concept, but the answers which I select is not the right answers. I mean, the option number, for example, option number A is something which I do it practically sometimes as a what to say, best practice or whatever I can say, or maybe the right Saka mindset as required for the CISA exam. Sometimes it aligns, sometimes we are required to think in a different way. Did you also find the same thing, like after having a lot of years of experience, you might be doing something else, and something else is required for you, and I think that's the area wherein it becomes very difficult.
Yes, true, agreed. Yes, I also, went through that phase. I mean, I would say till the last minute again, I had that, there were multiple questions like where if you remember, like I used to, ask you, why is this not the answer and why is this marked as the answer? So there were multiple questions like that where I had my own doubts and I was questioning myself, why not this one? Because I felt, and there were many questions where I was not completely satisfied also with the answers, but then that's how it is. Uh, so that thing went away with, or I wouldn't say completely went away, or it at least faded with more of revisions. And the important factor was the one which you said, active reading and active listening. So with regards to every question, you have to put in, like, your 200% concentration, I would say, to every word. And because even a the or an and or is so important in that sentence that it can change the answer completely. So we would think, okay, it's just the main words with regards to the domain. It's not that way. It's just the filler words also that can make a lot of difference to the answer option. So basically active reading, and then your understanding of the concepts that you learned in the past, and the revision. So these are the things which would help to crack those kind of questions. And obviously I would say, like, not all the answers would be, because and then everybody would get sent them, right? So that's not how it would work. There would be some questions where you would be still doubtful, but then for majority of the questions, it's all about revisions and your active reading, how actively you read it and apply that knowledge that you learned from all the five domains. So that's what helped me with regards to that. And whenever, like, I had doubts, like, when so that's why I said, like, when you connect with people. So in my case, like, you supported me wherever I had the questions, like you gave me the explanation for it. So for most of those questions I was like satisfied. Okay, then I understood, okay, this is why this is the option, or this is the answer option, and not the one I thought. So when you get that kind of explanation, which is not always given in all the material, so even in ISACA QAE, it might not be completely in the way that you want to understand it. So but when you have someone to explain it to you, then it turns out better. So that kind of understanding, if you get, then I think those kind of questions would be easier to crack.
Right. So, trust me, you are an inspiration for a lot of people, who are watching this, your session, because many people, I mean, as I've already mentioned in the past, that I try to, take the unique aspect, unique part from each and every interview. Some interviews, we get to understand the way they have worked hard, the way they, approach the entire, like the journey of this 4 months or 6 months, whatever. Right. So, any last piece of advice you would like to give to our viewers, who are watching this uh, video and who are currently in your same, maybe it could be they are currently in your same situation which you were, like, a few months back. Any last piece of advice?
Sure. So you would know, sir, like, right from the time I started this, I was like so very doubtful, like, if I would be able to do it. And because I've been interacting with you, I used to, like, tell you, like, this part is difficult, like, be able to do it and things like that. So it definitely is a journey like that. But as I said, if you're determined to do it, this is the most, I would say, rewarding certifications that you can take up. Like, if this is your career stream, then yes, definitely it's one of the most rewarding certifications, I would say. All you need to do is, like, stay focused and put in continuous efforts. And there would be, as I discussed earlier, at least in my case, there would be, like, a lot of points, like, where you feel, is this the right one for me? But once you've decided and you've set forward towards this journey, then there shouldn't be any looking back. You have to put in your continuous efforts, do everything, forget everything else around until you get it done. Because personally for me, I felt so relieved after the exams were done, because until then, like that 4.5 months, I couldn't like put in my full-fledged attention or focus into anything else. I used to do stuff, but then always behind the mind, this CISA prep work is always going on. So because day in and day out you're doing it, so that was always there. So you need to have that kind of uh, approach towards taking up this exam and preparing for this exam. So once you have put in continuous efforts and make sure you do your revisions, I think it should be easy to clear the CISA in the first attempt. If I could do it, then yes, obviously anyone else can also do it.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your entire journey with us. I'm sure that your story will definitely help a lot of people. And as I've mentioned earlier, I would be just sharing I will share the glimpse of your notes, so that again it will motivate people to follow the same path, the same approach which you have followed, right? So thank you so much, and
But
wishing you
nothing
all the
could
very
beat your notes, sir. Your content is like, I would say, because I did not go through any other material. It was only your course content, only your lectures, and only thing I went through was the ISACA QAE. Apart from that, completely it was just your lectures, and thanks for that great support and materials that you have. It definitely has helped a lot of candidates, like to take up this. Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you so much, and we wish you all the very best for the future.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.